Hi, I'm Megan from Feeling a Little Bookish, and today I've got a book haul for you all. Vlogging is not something I normally do, but I figured I'd try it out. Maybe done it like 4 times, but I thought it's been a really long time since I've done one, so I thought maybe this would be the time to try another one. I've received a lot of books from people. I've also gone to a few bookstores. I said I was on a book buying ban, but clearly that didn't work out too well for me. That being said, a lot of these books were purchased with gift cards. I'm a teacher, so in June I get a lot of chapters gift cards from my students, which is great, and July was also my birthday month. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the books that I got at Chapters with my gift cards from my students. So the first one that we have is called Love, Water, Memory, and that's by Jenny Shortridge. And this is from Simon & Schuster, and it came out in January. This book intrigued me because I always like books about memory loss, someone losing their memory, trying to figure out what happened. Before I Sleep, I think, is one of the ones that I really liked, and What Alice Forgot was another one. Well, this one is kind of along those same lines. Somebody wakes up in the San Francisco Bay, and she has no idea who she is. She doesn't even know that she has a fiance and that she's getting married in 2 weeks. Or sorry, 2 months, not 2 weeks. So while she's in the hospital, her fiance comes to visit, and they're trying to figure out how she ended up in the Bay, what happened to her memory, and she's also trying to kind of piece together the little pieces of her life, like who is she, who are the people around her, things like that. So that's number one. The next one that I have is The Interestings by Meg Wolitzer. And this book I've seen around a lot, so I'm pretty sure this was on the second season of Orange is the New Black. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not very observant when it comes to things like that, but I'm pretty sure it is on there. Anyhow, this is about a group of teenagers who meet at summer camp, and they become really fast friends, and they're great friends, and it kind of follows their lives from teenagehood to middle age, and kind of the things that get in the way of friendship. So family life and other responsibilities, and how do they maintain this friendship over all these years. And this was from Penguin Group, and it came out in April of 2013. Next up, this is the book that I am currently reading. It's called The Shining Girls, and this is by Lauren Bukes. This came out in June of 2013 from Little Brown. This book is really interesting for all you Doctor Who fans out there, and don't hate me when I say that I have maybe only seen 1 or 2 episodes of this. I think it's one of the ones that's on my list that I need to watch. But for those of you who like Doctor Who, it was on a huge shelf at Chapters, and it said, for those who like Doctor Who, I gave it a try. And it's essentially about Harper, who is a time-traveling serial killer. And some of the scenes in here already are pretty gruesome. I've only read this much. It's pretty gruesome so far. It's Depression era Chicago. This guy is from 1931 is when it starts, and he kind of goes back and forth between 2 places, and it also changes narrators. So it's Harper is the time-traveling serial killer, and there's also Kirby, who apparently at some point survives one of his attacks, and she wants to try to find the killer and bring him in. Really good so far. She has another book coming out this year as well. Next up, What the Nanny Saw by Fiona Neal, and this came out in 2011 from Penguin. It's about Nick and Bryony, and they are like a really kind of rich couple who have nannies and maids and whatever else. They have a lot of money, and then I think there's a dip in the economy or whatever else, and they have some sort of financial scandal going on. And throughout all of this, Nick leaves. The media is all over the place trying to find out what's going on, and the one person who's in the middle of this all is the nanny, who knows all the secrets. So I kind of find this interesting. I watch a lot of The Real Housewives, and kind of makes me think of that. Like, what do these people behind the scenes know that we don't really actually get to see? Because we know that it's all scripted, and there's all these, it's fun to watch, but you know there's a little bit more going on behind the scenes, and you know the people that are around all the time are the ones that see it. So it's this one. I also got The Painted Girls by Kathy Marie Buchanan. This book I've already read. I went through it really quickly. It's amazing. It's really well written. It came out in 2013 from HarperCollins, and it's set in Paris in 1878, between 1878 and 1881, I think. And it follows the lives of three sisters. Two narratives, so two of the sisters narrate. So there's Antoinette and Marie. Antoinette's the older one, and Marie is the younger one. And they are ballerinas. They're in the ballet, and they go to the opera. And it's actually inspired by the real life model of Degas' Little Dancer, age 14. So it's actually that's what this is. It's a statue of Little Dancer, age 14, and it's kind of dark. They don't have a lot of money, and it kind of gets a little bit seedy in places, but it's really, really well written and beautiful. It's beautiful. Just the writing's beautiful. You can totally picture the scene where everybody is. A lot happens too, so it's a really good book. I would suggest picking this up. Whoops. Next up, we have White Oleander by Janet Fitch. And this is one this is old. This is from 1999 by Little Brown and Company. They actually made a movie of this, and I have seen the movie. It's been a really long time since I've seen the movie, but I've heard, and this has been on a lot of lists of really great books. So it's essentially about a woman who's a poet, and she's in jail, and she has a daughter, and this daughter, Astrid, is going around from foster home to foster home to foster home, and it's her Astrid's story of the different homes that she's in. It's kind of a coming of age story, so I'm excited to get into this one. Next up, what we have is books that I have borrowed or that I've received for review. I don't receive a lot of books for review lately, just because I know that I haven't been as active on the blog, so I don't want to request a lot of things because clearly I'm not writing my reviews on time. So now that I'm back in the swing of things, I have a couple of books here for review, and I also got a few books that I borrowed from the other bloggers, the Ottawa bloggers. So to start is Say What You Will. This is obviously not the cover. The cover is much nicer. It's got like a speech box, a text box here, and different styles of writing. There's no picture really. It's mostly just the writing. Very simple. It's a white cover too with different colors in the writing. This is by Kimmy McGovern, and it came out in June from Harper. I borrowed this from Emily, and mostly the reason why I borrowed this is because I read her review on her blog, Emily's Book World, and it was really well written. She really enjoyed it, and she likes contemporary. It's summertime. I like to read contemporary in the summertime. It's YA. So I thought I might as well borrow it. So it's about Matthew and Amy, they've known each other for a long time, but they're not really friends, I would say. They're more, people that you go to school with, you grew up with. And one day Matthew tells Amy exactly what he thinks about her, and they sort of form a friendship based on that, because she kind of appreciates his honesty, and maybe she thinks like, okay, well, maybe there's something to what he said, and maybe I should listen to a little bit more of what people say. And obviously it's contemporary, so something a little bit more than that happens, I think, between them. So this one's a good one, I think. This one I have been waiting for. Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I read all her books. I especially like her adult book, Attachments. I really, really liked Eleanor Park. Fangirl, I'm not a fangirl. I don't know. A lot of people loved it, but I think I just didn't like that alternate story within a story kind of thing. Usually that does it for me, but today, when I read it, not so much. So I don't know. I like the writing, but it wasn't my favorite of Rainbow Rowell's books. This book I've already read. I borrowed this from Kim. As soon as she got it, I was like, I need to borrow this. And of course I read it within like a day. It didn't take me very long at all. It's essentially about a woman whose marriage is falling apart, and she is at her mom's house for Christmas while he is at his mom's house for Christmas. She decided work came first, and once he leaves, she kind of realized, maybe this was not the right choice. And as a result, she's trying to get a hold of him, and eventually she does, but it's not him in the present time. It's him in the past. So she's speaking to the old him, and he thinks he's speaking to the old her, when really not so much. So it's kind of interesting the way it all plays out. I liked all the side characters. I liked the mom, I liked the sister, I liked the dog, I liked her best friend. It was just really interesting to read, and this did it for me. This is an adult novel, but it reads really quickly, and I'd say it has a YA crossover appeal. Alright, so this book I got from Simon & Schuster for a review. Thank you, Michelle. And this comes out August the 26th. It's called The Beauty of the Broken by Tawny Waters. And essentially it's about a father who is abusive and the mother is an alcoholic. And there's a girl stuck in the middle of all this, a teen girl. And she's trying to kind of wade her way through all of this. And she's got a brother too. And as she's doing this, she meets another girl. They form a fast friendship and maybe a little bit more. So it's got a bit of a GLBT theme in it. And I really like those kind of books. And I feel like I could probably relate to this girl a lot. So I'm really interested to see how this goes. I'm pretty sure that I'll like it though. It seems really good. This is YA as well. And I think I'm going to break this haul up into two different videos because it's getting a little bit long. So this will be my last book of this book haul, and then the next book haul I will post on the blog maybe a few days later. And this one is Scott Westerfeld's Afterworlds. I have not read anything by him. I've started the Ugly series, but I bought the Uglies in French hoping to practice my French reading, and well, it was a little bit tedious for me because it was in French. So I got them in English now and I'm going to start reading them. I liked what I was reading in French, but I think I just wanted to just sit down and read it in English. But I got this one for review, so I think this will probably be my first Scott Westerfeld. And this is essentially, there's a YA author writing a story, so it's her story, but also the story that she's writing. So it's story within a story, which, like I say, it didn't work for me for the other book, but for this, for a lot of other books, it's worked really well. This is like a giant behemoth book. But that being said, I mean, the writing is not, like, the writing's not too super tiny. It's about 500 and actually closer to 600 pages, but I feel like this is one of those books that you could just kind of breeze on through. Like, it'll be interesting, and I love the cover. It's just kind of simplistic, and I don't know, love the teardrop in the writing. So again, this is from Simon & Schuster, Canada, and this comes out on September the 23rd. So that's it for right now. I hope you enjoy the video, and let me know if you want to see more videos on the blog. And if you do, then I'll keep going. Have a good day.